Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about lesson 2, chapter 2, that is latitudes and longitudes. I had already told you in homework that I will take your revision test of this chapter. So today I'll explain you briefly about this chapter, and you will write your revision test in your rough copy, or if you have revision test copy separately, you can write it in that only, and I will give you the questions. You will just write the answers and show it to me in the group. So today we will talk about what is longitude, what is latitude, and how did the circumnavigation prove that the earth is spherical in shape. So I will explain you once again about all this in this chapter, so that it will be easy for you to write the answers what I have given you in the question. So let's get started, and please deposit your April fees so that your name is in the 5C section. Okay, enrolled in the section, because April month is the admission fees, so that your enrollment is based on that only. So you deposit your fees, those who have not deposited. I have given the names in the group, so please deposit it. So let's start with our revision test. Okay. So students, this is your chapter 2, longitude and latitudes. So I had already told you that for a very long time people believed that the earth was flat, but because of the scholars like Plato, Pythagoras, and Portuguese explorer like Ferdinand Magellan, and his second in command, Juan Sebastian Elcano, all these proved by circumnavigation that the earth was spherical in shape. Now, what is the location or locating position on the earth? Now we know that the earth is continuously rotating on its axis. See, this is the axis, and it is continuously rotating on it. So simultaneously orbiting the sun, and it is orbiting the sun, it is moving around the sun. Then how do we mark all the stationary or moving things on the surface of the earth? So when we have to go somewhere, we take the help of a map, but the earth is too big, so how can we draw a map on it? Because the earth is too big, so that much big map we can't draw it. So what do we do? This was a question which puzzled the researchers, scholars and voyagers. Then they came up with the idea of mapping the world with the help of a grid. So what did they do? They made the grid. Okay, longitude and latitude. So let us know about this. Now what is a globe? You all know that it is a small model of the earth. And you will find that the globe stands on support at the top and at the bottom. We can take the upper tip as the North Pole and the bottom at the South Pole. So it can be turned around a line that is its axis. It is an imaginary line. Okay. So just as the globe, the earth rotates on its axis, and like the axis of the earth, the globe axis is also tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. It is little bit tilted. It is not straight. It is tilted. So now what is lines of longitude? We take the North Pole and the South Pole as the standard reference points and draw equidistant lines. See, the lines are equidistant from the North Pole to the South Pole, and these are called the lines of longitudes. And all the lines of longitudes are of same length. They meet at the poles. They are meeting at the poles and are farthest from each other at the equator. But near the equator it is far. Meeting at the pole and farthest at the equator. So they help in determining time also. Now, what is prime meridian? The prime meridian is the standard line of longitude assumed to be crossing the Royal Observatory in Greenwich near London. See, this is the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, and it is marked as 0 degree. This longitude divides the world into two equal halves. The region 180 degree east of the prime meridian is called the eastern hemisphere, and the region 180 degree west of the prime meridian is called the western hemisphere. So eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere, half. So interestingly, the longitude 180 degree east and the 180 degree west are the same. Means the one line is the same. So from here also it is 180 degree and from here also it is 180. So they form a single line called the international date line. From here we get the timing and date. Now what is lines of latitude? We take the midpoint of the globe from the north pole to the south pole and draw a horizontal line, this flat line. And the line divides the globe into two equal halves. It is two equal halves. Okay, the upper half of the equator is the northern hemisphere and the lower half is the southern hemisphere. Now we can draw parallel equidistance lines. Here the equidistance lines are parallel, and these lines are called the lines of latitude. And as they move towards the pole, they keep getting shorter and shorter. See, as they move towards the pole, they get shorter and shorter. So they are 90 lines at the top of the equator and 19 lines at the bottom of the equator. In total it is 181 lines. Because of the equator, one line more is there. So thus there are 181 lines of latitude. In the northern hemisphere, the longitudes are labeled 10 degree north, 20 degree north and so on, while the southern hemisphere they are labeled as 10 degree south, 20 degree south, like that. The equator is marked as the 0 degree. Latitude, it is the longest line. See here, it is the longest line. That is why it is called the Great Circle. So North Pole is represented as 90 degree north, while South Pole is represented as the 90 degree south. So we come to the latitude also. Now that we have drawn the vertical and horizontal line. Now this is the horizontal line, and this is the vertical line. Okay. So when we draw these lines on the globe, now known as longitude and latitude, respectively we have a network of intersecting lines. So it is intersecting each other. They are crossing each other. So the point where these lines intersect each other provides us a location coordinate. So it provides us the location. Wherever we have to find the location where we have to go, it helps in locating a place on the globe. So students, we have gone through this chapter once again. So I will give you today the questions and you will write the answers in your rough copy or in your revision copy and show it to me in the group. Okay. Thank you.